Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, hi, my name's Amy Rebecca and I'm your internet bestie for all things personal development, intentional living and dream chasing. Basically just a very average girl who's on a journey to create her dream life and taking you guys along for the ride. Okay, so one of my financial goals for 2024 is to make some money every month from side hustles. A very vague goal there. I love that for us. So this week I sat down and I started to kind of roughly plan out some of the ways that I could start making a little bit of extra income this year. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking you through all of the things that I intend on trying out to see how it goes. And then I'll be reporting back on how much I make through all of these different avenues each month in my monthly budgeting update videos. Now, before we dive straight in, I think it's really important to highlight the fact that in this weird little world that we live in right now, it feels like every man, his dog, his goat, and his coop full of chickens is promoting a get-rich-quick scheme featuring side hustles. Do I think it's possible to make money with a side hustle? Sure. Do I think it's as easy as some people are making it out to be? No. Do I think everyone's going to make an extra £100,000 a month in their sleep? Obviously not. And when I see people making these wild, bold claims and really trying to oversell how much you can make and how easy it is to make that much money doing some kind of side hustle, I have to stop and ask myself, is this person trying to sell me something? I don't know. I'm just saying that there are a lot of scams out here in this kind of niche, in this kind of area. Just be careful out there. I'm not buying into any get-rich-quick schemes here, but these are the things that I'm gonna start doing to see if I can make a little bit of extra money each month. So my first little side hustle is going to be a really easy one, and it's just going to be utilizing different cashback sites. So basically, if you're unfamiliar with the concept of cashback sites, basically these sites get paid by retailers and brands to push customers through to spend money on their website. And then the cashback site will take some of that money and put it back into your pocket. So for instance, if you were going to order a pizza from Domino's, instead of going directly to the Domino's website or the app, you'd go somewhere like Top Cashback, type in Domino's into their little search bar, and then go through to the Domino's website through the cashback website, and simply by doing that, you'll get money back. It sounds like a scam. I'm very aware that it sounds too good to be true, but trust me, I've been doing this for years and it works. I used to be really on top of my cashback game when I was in university because, hello, I was very poor. But I haven't been utilizing these sites as much recently, and you know, there's a little bit of money to be made there. In the UK, I would say the most popular cashback sites are Top Cashback and Quidco. I've used both in the past. I've tended to make more money through Top Cashback. I think that's probably just down to the fact that they probably work with more brands that I typically would shop with, but I've tried both and can verify that both are great. So pros and cons that I can see from this particular side hustle. The pros would be that it's really quick, it's really easy, and I don't actually have to put any effort into it. Literally the only thing I have to do is go to the cashback website instead of the retailer website. That's it. The cons would be that you're only making money when you're spending money, which is all very well and good. If it's stuff that you know that you need to get anyway, you may as well get that cash back on it. But if you're on a budget and you're trying to cut down on your spending, then you're kind of limited to how much cash back you can get because you're trying not to spend. The second side hustle that I'm gonna be hustling is online surveys. Again, used to be a big fan of doing surveys when I was a student. You know the cost of living crisis is crisising when you're 32 and you're acting the same way that you were as a 19-year-old student. Anyway, there are quite a few sites out there that you can sign up for and get paid to fill out online surveys, and they'll ask your opinion about any number of things, most of which are very boring. I've always used, I think it's called Ipsos ISA. I'll link everything that I talk about today down in the description box. I know there are some others out there, and obviously it's been a while since I've been involved in this sphere, so things might be different now. I'm going to try out a few and I'll let you know maybe next month if I find anything else that I think is worth giving a go. So pros and cons for this one. I would say the pros again is that it's going to be pretty easy. I mean, you can just do it as you're sitting down like watching Netflix or something in the evening. It's not very mentally taxing to do a survey. The cons would be that it's not very consistent. You have to wait until a survey becomes available, and sometimes they'll say, we don't want you to fill out this survey, you're not the kind of person that we're looking for. Also, it's really freaking boring. It's so boring, so boring. My third side hustle that I'm not going to be doing immediately straight out of the gate, but I will kind of be getting around to in the upcoming months, is reopening my Etsy shop. I have a love-hate relationship with Etsy, okay? Anyone who's ever sold on Etsy has a love-hate relationship with Etsy. I actually, a couple of years ago, had a print-on-demand Etsy shop, and this is one of those things that you'll hear people say up and down the internet all day long. Print-on-demand, you can make, you know, hundreds of thousands of pounds, and you don't have to do anything. I had a print-on-demand shop that sold t-shirts and hoodies and sweatshirts, and mine did pretty well. Most of them don't. Mine did pretty well, and if we went on my Etsy dashboard, let's do it actually, out of interest. I haven't sold anything in forever. I shut the shop down a little while ago, but let's just, I want you to see. Okay, so like I said, this shop has been closed for a hot minute, but if we look at the lifetime revenue, 16.1k. Doesn't sound too shabby, does it? I did not make anywhere near that amount of money. What these people who are trying to promote and sell you courses on print on demand aren't telling you is the outlay. Like, yeah, what they're saying is true. You don't need any money to start a business like this. There is no immediate outlay, but the costs are pretty high because you have to pay your Etsy fees, which are, by the way, out of control, and you have to pay the print on demand fees. Also very high. And the reason I had to shut down my shop was because those costs just kept getting higher and higher, and there's only so much that you can charge for a t-shirt. In the end, I wasn't even breaking even. I was actively losing money on every sale, so I shut the shop down. Anyway, that was a tangent that nobody asked for, but I just wanted to be transparent with you guys because I hear a lot of people talking about like, oh, print on demand, so easy, so profitable. I think it had the potential to be a few years ago when I first started doing it, but now those costs are so high that in order to price things to where you make a profit, no one's going to spend that much on t-shirts and clothing and that kind of thing. But here I am saying I'm going back to Etsy. What's all that about? So also in the past, I've had a handmade Etsy shop where I've made, oh God, Lord, I've tried everything. I had like things I would make on my Cricut machine at one point, like wine glasses, whiskey glasses, that kind of thing. I did crochet Christmas tree decorations. I've made keychains. I've made, look, you name it. I've probably tried selling it on Etsy, okay? That was all during lockdown when I had obviously a lot more time on my hands and was also in the midst of a mental health crisis and became a crazy craft lady. Crochet is cheaper than therapy. I crocheted this cardigan. Anyway, I don't foresee myself going back into a print-on-demand Etsy shop because, again, those costs are just too high, but I'm going to look into potentially reopening my handmade Etsy shop. Y'all, it just really depends on these Etsy fees because they've gotten really greedy and it's out of freaking control. So pros and cons for this side hustle. The pros would be that it's something I can do of an evening. Like, I like to sit down and crochet while I'm watching TV anyway, so anything that I make throughout the evening I can sell, and it's not really a huge hardship to me. The cons would be those outrageous Etsy fees and trying to price things to where it's a reasonable expectation to ask someone to pay that much, but you're still making a reasonable profit. My fourth side hustle for 2024 is going to be selling my teaching resources. Again, this is something that I used to do back when I was in university and kind of, I guess in a way, have been ever since. When I was doing my PGCE, I poured so much time and effort into my PowerPoints and my worksheets and all my resources, so it just made sense to go onto a website like Tess and sell them. Making them is the hard part. Throwing them up online and hoping someone buys them for like £2, you may as well. Now, since then, and I graduated in 2016, my teaching resources are still on Tess. They have still been bringing in money most months. Not loads, probably about £150 a year, I would say on average. But not bad considering I'm literally doing nothing. And I think I have about 5 resources up there, so not much. And in that time since I graduated, I've made hundreds more resources throughout my teaching career. They're all, I hope, still on my external hard drive. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to go back through, see what's good, see what I can maybe tweak a little bit, and throw them all up there. If I'm making £150 a year on like 5 resources, if I had 50, could I 10 times that income? I don't know. Let's find out. So the pros for this one are going to be that the majority of the hard work is already done. I just have to go back through all of my files, maybe tweak a few things and upload it all. Another pro is that once I've done that, the money will just keep coming in and I won't have to do anything. We love passive income. Isn't that just the goal, the dream, the life we all want to be living. I don't really think that there are necessarily any cons for this one, other than maybe, you know, the work that you have to put in up front. And the final side hustle, although I don't necessarily know if this does count as a side hustle, but we're gonna run with it anyway, is the money that I make from interest and dividends. Let me make it abundantly clear that I'm not a financial advisor. I don't really know very much about investing and stocks and shares. I only started doing it myself about 18 months ago, so don't take this as financial advice. Now, a few years ago, I downloaded a couple of those trading apps and honestly have not thought about it in years. But the other day I logged into my free trade account and realized that I'd actually made a little bit of money without even realizing. I got 2 free shares. The first share I got was from signing up, and the second share I got was from referring a friend. I'd made about £11 something in dividends without even knowing it off of those free shares that I didn't even pay for. So I invested like £7 something of those shares yesterday back into Paragon Banking, because that's one of the shares that I had that had made me some money. So now I have 2 shares in that. I have 1 share in B&M Bargains, which is not doing particularly well. And I still have a little bit of money in my account that I might invest in something else. It's something I'm going to have to research at length. I don't intend on investing large sums of money through these kinds of apps, because I invest larger sums of money in a mutual fund with Vanguard. Again, not an expert, don't ask me. Trading 212 is another one that gives out free shares when you sign up. I think I would go now, in today's time, more for the Trading 212 than the free trade in terms of free shares, because you only need to deposit £1 in Trading 212 to get a free share, but you need to deposit £50 in free trade. You can take that money back out. You don't have to actually spend it on shares, but you just need to deposit it, let it sit there for a little bit, and then you get your free share, and then you can pull the money out. So that's pretty cool, and I mean, it's for nothing. And then if, like with me, you're making dividends every quarter, you can reinvest that back in, you can take it out, do whatever. So this is the plan as we head into 2024, and it is subject to change. I might find that some of these just aren't working out for me and I ditch them along the way. There might be other side hustles that I hear about and I think, I want to try that. But either way, I will be sure to keep you updated in my monthly budgeting videos every month, and I'll tell you exactly how much I've made from each of my different side hustles. Please remember that you are enough just as you are. I love you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.